I'll try and talk back.
256.010, runway 1 right, clear for takeoff.
1 right, clear to go, yeah,
4461, 1 right, flat and wait.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Flightcast Live on location at the Epps Aviation hangar at Warbird Weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. We're here this weekend honoring the Tuskegee Airmen, and this live episode is brought to you by Flying Development Studio, makers of the mobile flight simulator.
Infinite Flight.
There we go.
And there's Miss Infinite Flight right there.
She is standing over there. Unfortunately, our cameras aren't going to capture that. But if you guys want to see Laura and Philippe and Val and Cam and Mark, obviously, and
that
myself.
Goes without saying. Everybody wants to see me.
Tune in on Sunday. We're going to have a live broadcast here on YouTube. And we don't have an exact time for that yet, but we will let you know for sure.
Well, it's not
on
going to be
social
here.
media.
It's going to be at the IF ModCon HQ.
Correct.
Yes.
At Steven's house. And here's Steven, our illustrious
Steven.
producer. With me on location, of course, is my beautiful co-host, Mark
Yes.
Skyhawk Heavy Denny.
We're actually on location together instead of the virtual studio. No, we're not.
And, of course, our producer, Stephen Wilson. Joining us today, and this is a surprise interview, kind of.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Is our friend and private pilot, as of a couple days ago, Southern Fly Girl, Angela Sells. Angela,
Yes.
welcome.
Hey, it's good to be
Thanks
here.
for coming out last minute.
Thank you.
So there's
Happy
been
to come out and see you guys.
it's just been things have been a little crazy today with the different changes and everything from Sunday. So thanks for stopping by and fitting us in, because I know you've got a lot going on too.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here. Excited to be a part of it.
To be in the presence of Photo Yoda herself.
I know.
know. We're going to share pictures later.
That's so exciting.
Aviation pictures. Let's
Yes,
be
aviation
specific.
pictures. Aviation
We
pictures.
should be specific. Don't worry, I turned off the chat on this one, so nobody's going to be speculating
like
in the
I
comments.
don't like I ever care.
No, you don't look at them. All right, so Angela, thanks again for sitting down with us. I know this is a little bit last minute, and you've been traveling today, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's an awesome week. Got my license, passed my check ride, and I'm here with you guys at Atlanta Warbirds Weekend. So I'm excited to finish up with some photography this week. Couldn't be a better week. Could
Awesome.
not be a better week.
The weather is panning out. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's looking nice out there. You got to have a little clouds, a little blue sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome for us.
So for viewers who aren't familiar, we interviewed Angela. Well, that was episode 40-something.
It was episode something.
You go to flightcast.audio and use a little search bar at the bottom. Search for Angela, and you'll find her.
I'll look it up. If
Excuse
we still
me.
have it. That requires me putting my glasses on. I'm not going to look it up.
Okay. Anyway, go to flightcast.audio to find that episode. And we were talking to you as you were progressing through your PPL.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a frog in your throat and you're live, it's... Can you ask a question?
So, carrying on with what Jason was saying, and I have no idea what he was going to say, so I'm just going to have to improvise. When we talked to you before, when we had you on the show, you were going through the PPL. You had talked a little bit about your struggles.
Yes.
Up to that point, and here you are now. You and I have been talking, and you've just been telling me all along, Mark, I've got to have it by Warbird Weekend.
I did.
I'm not coming unless I have it on Warbird Weekend.
I know I was going to be sick if I didn't get it done this week.
Yeah, and so, you just kept putting it off and putting it off. You really wanted to stress out
That
there at
last
the
minute,
end.
yes,
That's what it
absolutely.
was.
So tell us about the check ride. How'd it go?
Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was nerve-wracking. I don't think I've ever been more nervous about anything in my life. And
There's a lot of anticipation for this moment, right?
it was crazy. And I had it scheduled once, and then the plane had to go in for 100-hour, and I wasn't comfortable in one of the other planes for the check ride, so we decided to delay it. And unfortunately, the weather got us the time, and then by the time you finally get up there, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the week, I've got to get it done. And they changed locations on me. They changed examiners on me. So I had to redo my cross country for the check ride 3 times.
Oh, wow. No.
So that was exciting and a little nerve-wracking because I didn't get that till the night before and had to plan all that out. But it was a really interesting time because I didn't end up doing it till 3 in the afternoon, And I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to fly to Lexington, which is a 30-minute flight away, and there was a chance I could come back late that night and have to come back by dark. Well, as all things go with check rides, mine went like a typical aviation day. I got there and the plane had no gas and the landing light was out. And I knew I'd be fine if we had been there in the day and I was going to get back. But the fact that I might get back at night, I knew I needed, especially since I was going to see an examiner, that I needed the landing light fixed. So I went in and I was like, I need gas and I need a landing light. And they're like, oh, it's lunchtime and we got to find the mechanic. So they finally found the mechanic, and he was willing to go ahead and do it. They said, it's going to take 20 minutes. Do you have time? I was like, I got time. Let's get this done.
Meanwhile, the butterflies in your stomach are just flipping, and that just prolongs the agony, right?
Well, and I knew I was so nervous that for the first time ever, I packed a throw-up bag in my flight bag.
In case you had a magic moment?
Yes. I said, rental plane, I didn't want to do that in there. But
and if you ever need more, I still have some bags from Northwest. I still have plenty of those, so I'll give you some.
Well, needless to say, I didn't throw up, but yeah, I was prepared. I was telling Mark that this week that was really cool because that happened. I ended up having to go to the maintenance hangar, and when I went, I'm taxiing down, and it's like 2 hangars down, and I get down there, and the very first plane I ever soloed in was sitting there for her annual inspection.
Oh, no way.
And it was 92 Juliet. And I was like, oh, it's that day.
It was an omen.
It was. Well, I knew it was going to be a good one. I was like, I'm going to pass this check ride today.
You're like, never mind, I'm going to fly this one over here.
So that was very special to me, and I got to see her, and I took a couple of pictures, and I was like, this day could not have started out any different, you know. So
Wow.
I got it fixed and went up to Lexington, and it was great. You know.
So, and now Mark's been through all of this. I haven't. I'd like to one day, but what goes through your mind when you're like? I remember getting my driver's license. You know, when I was 16, and you leave the test and you have it. You have the piece of paper, and you're like, so, am I just allowed to just go and drive? You know, with no supervision? Is that kind of what it feels like?
Oh,
or?
yeah, absolutely. All along, I kept telling my flight instructor, I said, I feel like a 15-year-old that just got their permit, and I'm getting ready to take my driver's license test. I was like, oh, my gosh, how many people out there are in the same boat and only have as many, you know, a few hours up here flying? I was like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. Or when you leave the hospital with your baby for the first time, it's like, so I can just take it?
Oh, when we had Matthew, the day that we were leaving, I was like, because it's super easy when the nurses are all there.
Exactly.
So when we were leaving, I'm like, which one of y'all are coming? Which one's coming with us?
Yeah.
And y'all going to rotate? How's that going to work? So
yeah, that's what it feels like for sure.
Exactly
so,
what it feels like.
Have you been up in the sky by yourself? I mean, I know you've been by yourself because you've soloed, but
Have I been up
have you
since?
rented the airplane?
I have not, but I did have to fly back from Lexington to Monroe. So I had, and it did end up being at night. So I was so glad that I got the landing light taken care of, because that was the last thing I wanted to be stuck up there.
Your first flight as a pilot was at night.
It was at night.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire.
But you know, it was such a beautiful night, and the harvest moon.
Yep.
You know, it was just starting to be almost full. And so I had that light. It was a perfectly clear night. And I could see all the way to Charlotte, Monroe from there. I wasn't worried at all. I was like, I know this whole area. I won't have any issues. And
awesome.
It was
What a
great,
moment.
great flight. But then I get back, and there's nobody at the airport because it was 9 o'clock at night. There's nobody there, not even the front desk people. And I went, yay.
Nobody there to celebrate
Nobody
with.
to celebrate with.
Go home and pour yourself a drink.
I know, right.
Yeah. So now you're here at Warbird Weekend.
Yeah.
Happy as a clam.
Oh, yes.
And what are you looking forward to about the weekend?
Well, she met us.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
there's that.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, that
She-
goes without
she-
saying.
She told me outside, she's like, well, I've met y'all. It's kind of downhill.
Might as well
after
go
that.
home now,
Yeah.
right? It's,
Let me snap a couple pictures, and I'm just going to get back on the road.
Yeah.
No, this is always great. And I have to tell you, the Atlanta Warbirds weekend is a very special weekend for me. This is my 3rd time here. So 3 years ago when I came, I was going through breast cancer, and I had just found the aviation photography workshop, and so this was my first Warbirds photography session, and it just became a very special moment. So last year when I was here, I had just gotten cleared the day before, well, that morning, by the FAA to fly again. So this year I'm back and I'm a pilot. So I got chills all of a sudden. I'm like,
That's
oh my
awesome. So
gosh,
did I.
Next year she'll be back. She'll be an instrument-rated pilot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then she'll have her CF or CPL.
Then you
after
can start
that.
my training.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it is. It's a very special weekend, and the best part for me is doing the sunset photography. We usually we've been very lucky the last couple of years to have some great clouds, a nice sunset, and it's just been beautiful. So some of the best pictures I have ever gotten have been here.
Yeah, very nice. Awesome. Well, we've seen lots of amazing pictures from you, and
thank you.
please don't stop.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I feel like I've had everything on hold for the last few months, just focusing so hard on the oral and then the flight and getting all that behind me. I felt like I couldn't do that, so I'm excited to be able to get back to the photography as well.
Yeah, awesome.
The sunset's going to be great tomorrow night, as far as the photography. So
hopefully there's a sun.
Yeah, hopefully there will be a sun.
And put a bit of a black eye on the whole mission.
I was talking to her yesterday, and I was like, "So what is the sunset photography like?" And she's like, "Well, y'all, you get down," and I'm like, "Is people just knelt down?" She said, "Oh no, everybody's laying down."
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to give you my camera while you're down there, because I'm not going to get up. You just go ahead and use my camera.
Just put your camera on the
picture.
ground and use a stick or something and push the button.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip up the screen and just sit there and, all right, that one's good.
Now, actually, since we're on cameras, on the discussion of cameras, you got a new toy.
Yes, I did. I got one this week. Been saving up for it and finally got it, a Canon 80D.
Congrats.
It's 80D.
Very nice.
All you have to do is smile at the button, and it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, when Tyler and I were at Atlanta, I was showing him, and he was like a kid out there. And while we're just sitting here, you get so sick of tired of all the Airbuses around, so you wait for the Boeings to come. And so I'm just sitting there with my hand down, and as I'm scrolling through the pictures, I had like 15 shots of the car bumper. And I'm like, what?
It is very sensitive
It's
compared
very
to the Rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what this is the equipment.
That one you have to push and actually put some muscle behind it.
Wink at it.
Yeah, and it goes,
Yeah.
This one, it's,
Rapid fire for
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
and I'm just like, which sucks.
That's good and bad. So it's good whenever you're looking at a plane because at least one of those is going to come out good.
Yes, but when you take 982 pictures in 2 hours and you fill up your card,
And this is the problem. He's sitting on the couch sifting through photos for the next 4 hours instead of hanging out. So speaking of camera rigs, any changes to your rig since the last time we chatted?
No, not yet. Probably after the first of the year, I'll look at picking up another body and maybe a fisheye lens or something that gives me a
Ooh.
little bit wider
Okay,
look.
well,
Yeah.
that's interesting you say that because fisheye lenses work nicely in small spaces such
Right.
as cockpits.
Cockpits, yeah.
Do you plan on doing any video, any GoPro stuff, or?
Yeah, I'll probably do a little bit more of that. The editing of that to me is taxing.
It is. It
When
takes
you're
a long
already
time.
doing
Yep.
photography editing, it's not as taxing, but it is. But to me, the video editing is a little taxing. But I do want to do more of that. I really enjoy it, like being able to people to see what we're seeing, and experience it when they don't have it firsthand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
anything else that you can think of?
No, we're gonna go out for dinner and hang out some more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by last minute.
Yeah.
And
My
it's
pleasure.
funny because you said your first workshop was here 3 years ago.
Yes.
Was it 3G? Then?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
And then each year has represented something different
Yes,
for you.
it has.
And then even tonight, you're able to stop by because 3G had to cancel because they canceled
The
Sunday.
Yes.
So they've had to rearrange their schedule for the aerial photography and all that. And here you are, back at Warbird Weekend, and you're filling in for 3G Media.
Awesome.
So-
I'm glad I can fill more than one shoe.
At least you're consistent. That's
I should say to our viewers, if we're on camera and you see us all do this,
oh yeah.
that's because there's a P-51 or a Corsair or something flying past the window.
They're
so-
fixing to launch the 17, I think.
Ooh.
Oh,
We
that
have
wouldn't have
somewhere
been
to
that
go.
just now, would it?
No, that wasn't the 17.
No, that wasn't loud enough.
That may have been the 6 or the 51.
I thought they just fired up the Corsair again, so maybe.
Or it was the Corsair. It was one of the
Anyway,
Warbirds.
all right. Well,
It was not a 172, I can tell you that.
no, it was not.
Yeah.
You weren't flying it, so it's not going to make that kind of noise.
No.
Angela, thanks again.
Thank
Our
you.
viewers can find you at Southern Fly Girl on Instagram. Anywhere else?
SouthernFlyGirl.com.
SouthernFlyGirl.com. Awesome. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Can't wait to hang out tonight.
forward
And
to
to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. We are live at Peachtree DeKalb Airport,
Or PDK.
PDK, in Atlanta, Georgia. This episode is brought to you by Flying Development Studio, the makers of Infinite Flight. And
My boss.
guys, thanks for watching, and happy landings. We'll see you next time.